Good afternoon. This is the usual forward-looking statement. We try to be as accurate as we can when we're looking backwards and as realistic as we can when we look forward. So I'll leave you some time to read through this. So Giyani Metals is a manganese developer for the battery electric vehicle market. Our initial plan was to be a manganese miner and provide manganese for the battery electric vehicle market. Then we realized that some value up the chain must be realized by moving into refining rather than just providing the raw material. So we're located in Botswana. As you can see, the southeastern part of Botswana, that's the most developed part of the country where most of the infrastructure is. We zoom in a little bit. Our license area is about 8,000 square kilometers. For those of you who don't know how to estimate, this is about the size of Puerto Rico. We have three main prospects that we have identified, named Cahill, Otse, and Lobatse. All three of them just happen to be in very close proximity to infrastructure. So these are actual photos of the roads and the railway systems that we are located nearby. Cahill is the most developed prospect, which is less than 2 kilometers from the A2 Trans-Kalahari Highway. We have an option of 6 seaports to export through to the east and to the west out of 3 different countries in southern Africa. Manganese is not very well understood element when it comes to the battery market, simply because most of the production globally has been consumed by the steel and metal alloy industry. There's less than 10% or 12% that goes into the battery and the chemical market. The difference in price and quality between the raw commodity that goes into the steel market versus the one that goes into the battery is very significant. So the electrolytic manganese metal market is small in general, but the one part of it that goes into the production of batteries is even smaller. So today is about 0.2% of global production of manganese goes into the battery market. The significant in price is also significant. Regular EMM sells for about $1,900 these days. High purity EMM, the 99.9% that is required for the battery market, sells at around $4,700 a ton. And the difference may seem very small in terms of percentage, in terms of purity, but in order to get to 99.9%, you need to spend a lot of money. So the cost implication for moving into high purity manganese production is quite significant. This is the process that you typically have to go through to produce EMM from the ore. We have a cost advantage that our ore is naturally occurring oxide, so the mineral profile of our ore does not require calcining, which is a major cost saving in terms of SX-EW process. This is a backward-looking slide that demonstrates what have we done since the acquisition of the licenses in July 2017. Within 2 years, we were able to complete a PEA with very attractive numbers, as you would see in the next few slides. So first, we did the mineral resource estimate. This was in late 2018. It's a small resource, 1.1 million tons. We think we can move that up to 1.5 million tons with a little bit of reserve drilling, which is going to happen in the next few months. But the most important numbers are here in the PEA. These numbers are in Canadian dollars, so I'll try to convert to US dollars as we go along. So the project, as you can see, has a net present value after tax of about 285 million US. And if you want to compare it with some other jurisdiction, the pre-tax MPV for us is about 370 million US. The capex is also quite attractive. So pre-production capex requirements is about 108 million US, and that would give you a 90.6 internal rate of return with a payback period of 1.5 years, and all of this is using 10% discount rate. The picture on the left will describes how the pit shell design is going to look like. We have about 9 years of potential mine operating life. This has nothing to do with the overall project because you can source material from other sources and feed them into your plant. So we intend to develop the other two prospects as well to extend the lifetime of the mining aspect of the project, not the production. But if we look only at Cahill, which was the main prospect for the PEA, we're looking about 245,000 tons of high purity EMM. Now we're getting into the forward-looking picture. So what is the next step for us? We have several work streams that go on at the same time. So alongside the development of Cahill, we have completed the PEA, as you have seen, and we continue to do hydromet testing. We do our testing in the Mineral Process Engineering and Battery Research Center of the University of Dalhousie in Halifax, up in Canada. This is the same facility that people like Tesla use for their battery research. The next for us is the commencement of the definitive feasibility study. It's a small project, so we don't need a pre-feasibility. And that would include the environmental impact assessment and the mine permitting and the plant construction. So this is a drill down of the development of Cahill. So the development of Cahill will, as I said, include the definitive feasibility study and the environmental impact assessment, along with a little bit of reserve drilling to expand the resource from 1.1 million tons to about 1.5. And then we expect to be in production by the end of 2020. Since we've started using these slides to guide the market or tell the market about what we're doing, we always provide a backward-looking snapshot of what has been achieved and also a forward-looking depiction of what we plan to achieve, and we go back to the market and demonstrate that this was achievable and that the management team is planning and executing according to plan. This is a Dso program, so what we have is a little bit of stockpile material lying on the surface at Cahill, the main prospects. This material have been tested, and we found that we can make money by consolidating and upgrading this and sell it to the market. So that would put somewhere between $2 and $3 million in the bank just to help with the development of the rest of the operational program. This is how the Dso program looks like from a bench cutting perspective and also from stockpile perspective. The exploration, as I said, we have about 8,000 square kilometers of licensed area that we intend to explore, continue to export, just to be able to add to the main resource. And this is the plan for the exploration for the next few months, which will be funded by the proceeds from the Dso program. Some of the partners that we are talking to is Traxys, which is who's interested in acquiring the DSO material for marketing, exclusive marketing, and also the main objective for them is to be able to get into partnership with us when we get to the EMM production. So very quick rundown of why this is an attractive investment opportunity. Everything here is objective and can be validated with the exception of the team, but basically we have a team that has done it before. We have a world-class management and board expertise on the team. And our business strategy is to continue our organic growth, but also we're looking at some smaller projects in the Southern African region to add to our portfolio of existing prospects. This is our management team. Share structure is pretty attractive. We think we have a very small float comparative to our peers, about 85 million shares outstanding. Right now we're trading a little bit lower than when this was captured the beginning of October. So we're basically running around 12 to 13 million Canadian valuation. So as you can see, the upside for growth is pretty significant. This is a map of global production of EMM. I don't think it's any surprise that more than 98% of global production of EMM is coming from China. And there's only one producer of HP EMM that can make the high purity stuff, which is a company in South Africa called MMC. A little bit of science about the chemistry of the battery. And this is the cost breakdown of a battery electric vehicle pack. As you can see, the contribution of manganese or any other metal for that matter is very small. So any increase in price won't be so significant that it won't impact the overall cost of the electric vehicle, and it can be passed down to the consumer easily. So we have been told by the car manufacturers. This is the flow sheet in detail, but I can speak to any of you who's interested in the science outside. And Botswana, for those of you who don't know, is a very developed and very mature mining jurisdiction with very stable geopolitical environment that is very highly rated, grade A investment rating. These are some photos from the old mining. I guess I have the advantage of having no one after me, right? Okay, so that's it for me. If you would like more information, I'll be outside. I can help you out. Thank you very much.